Yeah, welcome to another episode of Three Conservative Gimps, where we are proud and free, where we give you the information you need to make at the ballot box. We talk about stuff, everything from dog catcher all the way up to world leaders, so you could make good decision at the ballot box. So let's welcome all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma, where they may be getting some strong weather coming Thanksgiving. Let's welcome Lloyd Mendenhall.
Hello, Art.
Welcome.
Hello, everybody in the chat. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up this morning. I thought, what in the hell is that sound out there? It's like, and I have a window air conditioner in my bedroom, and I was hearing this sound. Like, what in the hell is it? And then I realized, oh crap, it's raining out there, and it was just pouring down. It has been. That's why I've got on a hoodie
Your
tonight because
hoodie.
it's just been chilly all day, and I haven't been able to get. And I don't like cranking my heater all the way up when I don't have to. I can just dress a little warmer. So
There you go. Yeah.
so yeah,
Same here. It's been cloudy all day and cool in the 50s, and it's supposed to rain either tonight or sometime tomorrow. And we've got some weather coming Thanksgiving, and I guess after Thanksgiving it's going to get pretty cold
yeah,
here
we're supposed to.
in
Yeah, we're
er,
supposed to be getting cold weather all week, and our temps. I think we've had we've been pushing up into the 80s or close to 80 for the last 3 or 4 days, and then it'll turn off cool for a day and then it'll get right back up. But I think we're finally through with the 70-degree weather. I think we're getting down into colder weather this week. And
same here. I think we'll get some 60s and
is
then
Thanksgiving this Thursday?
next week, this
Next
coming
Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Mhm. So no show next week. So we'll give
No
you
snow next week. Yeah.
an evening off. Yeah,
Well, I'd
that's
probably be out at my kids' house anyways, and so wouldn't be able to go anyway. So
right. And the Broncos won again. Yeah,
what's their standing
they're
right now?
9-2.
9-2. That's not bad.
Yep.
Who have they
And
lost against?
let's see. I think Baltimore and not Baltimore. I keep wanting to call the Colts Baltimore. It's Indianapolis Colts.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
who else? Did we lose to?
They lost against the Colts, huh?
Yeah. So those were the only ones.
I was going to
Oh,
say
the Chargers we lost to, and
oh,
they
that's right. They did lose against the Chargers. I remember that one. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So Brad wants to know where Charles is. He won't be joining us tonight. I guess he's got other things to
Yeah,
do.
he had an opportunity to do something. Normally it's not on Thursday night; it's on Wednesday. But something different came up, and so they had to switch it around. And so,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, he'd contacted me. He said he'd already talked to you about it, so I knew what was. Yeah,
Mhm.
told him to sit
Mhm.
back and enjoy himself. So you're going to have to carry his load tonight, Art.
Yes, I'm going to have to feed the demon, so to
Yeah,
speak.
that's it right
Keep
there.
going. Yep. So, yeah, we then both of those games were on stupid penalties that cost us the game, and so yep. So we're winning, but winning ugly. It's
Yeah,
like, but at least last game we did score on the opening drive, which
right.
is something we didn't do all season. But it
Yep.
was still a low scoring game where we got a field goal in the last second of the game
Right.
and won the game. Beat Kansas City, who's 5-5 now.
Yeah, I normally just by the way, hello Brad. Oh, let me get this.
Already. All right. While he's talking on the phone, let's say hello to the people in the chat. We've got Brad and Anna's Attic. Good to see you, Brad. Thanks for coming. And then we got Gitchy Gumi, 3726. Good to see you. Uh, people ought to be rolling in a little later. So, also, just to let you guys know, I am starting a new business. It's called Mile High Media, and it's a media business. And I've been kind of, tinkering around with it on my other channel, Art Code Drones and Entertainment. So I'm going to take it a little further and turn it into a business to where I could help people who need, you know, promotions, need graphics designing, like flyers and mailers, and maybe promote bands and promote other content creators. So stuff like that, make a little money on it, and let's see where this goes.
Yeah,
Could be a big thing now with the new tools coming out, and let's take advantage of it and see where it goes. So that's what's
right.
going on. I have a GoFundMe. I don't have it with me right now, but I will put it on the other channel. So
Okay.
we'll plug that along, and all I need is just a little bit of money to just kind of, you know, get things rolling. And once I get going, it'll get going good. So let's get into the show. The big thing in the news is the Epstein files just went, and the president has signed off on it, and it's going to be released. And already the Democrats are really starting to make hay about it. And we got a congresswoman out of Texas that's blowing her horn and making accusations and not fact checking,
Yep.
and just really making herself look like a complete ass. Take it away,
She is
Lloyd.
complete. Well, she is a complete ass. That was, and I
Yeah.
only heard parts of it, and it's like, from what I understand, she was talking about, uh, I guess the president and a Jeffrey Epstein had a correspondence or something. I know that Epstein belonged to his country club until he kicked him out for being a
Yeah.
pervert, you know.
Yep.
And so, but I'm not sure what I forgot what her name is now. That idiot from Texas,
Jasmine Crockett.
Crockett.
Ah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah, she's not related to Davy, who is famous for
No,
dying at the Alamo.
no.
You know.
She puts the crock in Crockett.
Yeah, she's as a Texan, she's really shaming the name of Crockett because
Right.
even though Crockett was from Tennessee and Kentucky,
That's
you
right.
know, uh, he was more famous as one of the heroes of the Alamo. And
Alamo.
she's
That's
really
right.
putting it to shame because she's obliterating it. So,
Mm.
yeah, I just heard snippets of it, and it's like she apparently accused him. Maybe you know more about that because I haven't
Yes,
played it.
I just watched the video just before the show. She basically accused Republicans, oh, they've taken money from Jeffrey Epstein. Lee Zeldin was one, Mitt Romney, and the NRCC. She accused them of taking money and not realizing that there is plenty of other people named Jeffrey Epstein, just not that one. And Jeffrey Epstein, the pedo or the perv, he doesn't donate to Republicans. He's a
No,
Democrat. Why
he was
would he donate to Republicans? Which I
he
just find stupid.
has has anybody pinpointed this other Jeffrey Epstein that's donated to
Yes,
the
he's a
Republicans?
doctor.
He's a doctor. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
so she just basically ended that guy's career.
no. Actually, she probably didn't,
Yeah,
because
you're
because if it comes out that he's a doctor, he can sue her for all sorts of malicious allegations. If anybody's career is going to end over it, it's probably going to be hers,
yeah. Well, I
because
think hers is
hers is
ending
pretty well
soon.
over anyway. So
Yeah, well, because her district is
yeah, her
disappeared.
district's being done away with, and that couldn't
Yep.
happen too
Hmm.
soon, as far as I'm concerned. But uh, yeah, there's libel and slander, and he could sue her for,
Right.
I
Hmm.
think, for libel and slander, because I can't remember what the difference is. Slander
Well,
is,
she did it out of malice and
yeah,
without
and
regard to fact.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the fact that she did that, and out of malice, if he sues her, she better hope she's got some sort of good lawyers, because she's
Yeah.
gonna it won't it may have ended his career. He might retire.
Yeah.
She could
Yeah.
get He could get enough money out of her that he could retire, and he may already be retired,
Hmm.
but it's just the fact that they do this, and this is what they thought they had. But
Hmm.
my thing is if they thought they had this, why in the hell weren't they using it? Where were they? Why weren't they, and they have not given me a good enough answer why they didn't use it in the last 4 years.
Yeah, that's
They said,
right.
well, we were doing some prosecuting, we were trying to prosecute you. Well, yeah, but you're still dealing with
Hmm.
Ginzel, or whatever the hell her name is, the happy hooker that worked with him. Uh and there's and that case is still, I mean, even though she's in prison now, there's still some other aspects of it that are being investigated, and
Right.
but this was there was nothing in those. That's why the Republicans voted overwhelmingly,
Oh, yeah.
both in the Senate and in the House. There's
Oh,
one.
and the Democrats even voted
Well,
with,
yeah, but the
except for one.
Democrats voted because they wanted to get some dirt on the
Right.
Republicans.
Hmm.
The Republicans voted because they wanted it out there and they wanted it proven. And
Hmm. Hmm.
the one person that voted against it, he was a Republican in the House.
Yeah.
Uh, the reason he voted against it was it had something to do with, he was concerned about this
The
creating.
picture.
Yeah, it was certain specifics that didn't need to be. It could hurt other victims, or
Right. Hmm.
and he was being concerned about that, and he felt that by doing this and forcing it, they've also overstepped the balance of the balance of power between the House and or between the executive, the judicial, and the uh, legislative branches. Uh,
Hmm.
so, because what they've done is they've forced the Department of Justice, which falls under, technically, it falls under the executive branch, but
Right.
they
Hmm.
forced them to release these, and they were going to do it anyways. They'd
Yeah.
already had plans on doing it. They've already released a little bit of it to begin with. They had
Right.
some things they needed to finish out, because eventually, because Trump did say that he would do that, but they
Hmm.
wanted to get him on uh, a got you
Yeah.
thing, like, hey, we forced you to do that, or you wouldn't. There's a campaign promise that you know, he didn't keep. And that's all this was really about, was the fact that he kept keeping his campaign promises, which was looking bad for all other uh,
Hmm.
politicians. Politicians are supposed to lie and not keep their campaign promises,
Yeah.
and he did.
Yeah.
And
He's like one of the
one of
well,
them,
the only president I know that's actually
doing what he said, yeah.
yep, that's
And
right.
I think they were trying to get him on something like, well, if he, and because, I mean, Jesus, he just barely been in office, and they started raising hell about it, and
Oh
he
yeah.
had already looked at it, and there were things that he felt needed to be looked at a little further before it was released, and
Right.
that was his only, and he'd said that, and the Department of Justice had already said, or the FBI had already, Cash Patel said, there's really nothing there,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yep. But the only problem is it's the liberals that are being hurt. Look at Larry
Yeah.
Summer had
Yeah.
to give up his teaching job at Harvard.
Well,
Mm,
that's not a bad thing either, because a few more of them liberals out of Harvard would help the world
mhm.
in general. But yeah, so yeah,
Yeah,
this was something that they I think they ran off at the mouth, and then it became a living entity, and they couldn't back. It's like, oh, it's alive. And they couldn't. They created
mhm.
their own monster and didn't know what in the hell to do with it. Now they're stuck with it, and it's eating them. It's eating them alive.
Right,
So
right.
they got to have somebody, an idiot like Crockett, come out and
Mhm.
stir the mud up, and all she's done is make herself look stupid and possibly set herself up for a uh, libel or slander lawsuit.
Right,
Which if
that's
I were
right.
that particular Epstein, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Right. Yeah, good point. Good point.
There,
Also, what the Justice Department ought to look into is how did Jeffrey Epstein get that island?
yeah,
Whose grease did he? Whose palms did he grease to get
yeah, and did he overvalue his own property that he was, trying to get the loan
that?
on?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And who did he get to keep quiet about the what was going on there, and the Lolita Express. I mean, how do you
Oh my
get
God. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
going?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Clinton was a guest on his plane
yeah,
28 times.
yeah. Hmm.
I mean, he shouldn't be with young girls, but on the other hand, he was married to Hillary, so
Yeah,
he should have stuck with Monica. Just
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know whether to feel bad for him or think he deserves everything he gets, but in some ways, I feel bad for him because he got, yeah, he got to be president twice.
Got to
He got
be
both
and governor
and governor, but
and attorney
he had to go over
general
there to,
of
yeah, that's right, yeah. But yet it was Hillary that was the driving force behind him.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think the same way with Obama. I don't think Democratic men, no offense to any of our friends out there are Democrats, but I don't think Democratic politician men have the cojones to stand up and do it themselves. They have to have a woman telling them how to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, after all, they're all trying to become women anyway. So,
that's right. Well, they don't even know what a woman is to begin with.
yeah, I saw that video today. There was a video that popped up, and it was who was the running mate for Kamala?
Oh, Tim Walz.
Walls, yeah, Tim
Yeah.
Walls. Oh my God, he looked like this woman. It was a congresswoman, and she was. I don't know why he was being interviewed by Congress, but he was there for some committee meeting, and she point blank asked him, "Can you tell me what is a woman?" He goes, "I don't think I understand the question.
No,
What
I
is a
mean,
woman? Can you tell me what is a woman?" Could you ask that again? Because I still don't understand the nature of that question. He says, "I want
yeah.
to know. Can you tell me what is a woman?" Well, I'm not sure I can. She says, "A woman is somebody who, like me, says you're out there promoting men, taking our medals from us, taking our jobs from us.
Mm,
You're not there protecting a woman. You're protecting a bunch of sissy boy or something like that.
mhm,
Eh, He was just like, and then she goes, and I yield the rest of my time to my colleague. She just
mhm.
slapped him up one side and down the other. And all he could say was, I don't understand the name. How hard is that? What is a woman? And it's like, God. And this guy wanted to be vice president, and he's a governor.
Right.
Whatever state he's a governor of,
Minnesota.
they friggin' deserve it.
Mhm.
They
Yep.
deserve what they get. Well, Minnesota, there you go.
Mhm.
Aren't they the one who elected Jesse Ventura?
Yeah, yeah.
They picked some of the weirdest people.
Oh, I know.
You know,
Yeah, oh, boy. That was, yeah, let's, yeah, get away from Jesse.
Anyway,
That's a whole other
well, I
story.
know, but it just goes to show the ignorance of what that state does.
Yeah.
They're
Well, and
clueless.
he ran as a libertarian, so
Well, yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't happen very
No,
often. I have a high school classmate that was a he was on at the Hazel Park City Council, and he was a libertarian. So he was the only conservative on the board who was really trying to stop the
yeah, yeah,
craziness going on, and it's like,
yeah,
yeah, yep,
yeah.
Andy
So
Lucuro, yep,
who?
Andy Lucuro.
Oh, okay, okay.
He's
Yeah,
my classmate, and I've known. I think we went to junior high together. I think so, but
yeah.
yeah, nice
But
guy. Last time I saw him was at the 40th reunion. That
oh,
was
okay. Yeah,
several moons ago. And, yep.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, so we got that going on, the Jeffrey Epstein thing
yeah.
going on,
Again,
and then we
nothing.
got a schism going on in the Republican Party, the MAGA Republicans against the America First Republicans, and the America First Republicans are the ones pissing and moaning about Israel. And yeah, because they don't want to have anything to do with Israel. Why are we
Oh,
spending money on Israel? We ought to spend money on Americans. And then you got the Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes thing going on, and
yeah,
Taylor Green
yeah, yeah.
having a fight with Trump, and got that whole thing. It's like, God damn, what is wrong with these Republicans? They just
They
cannot
don't know
keep
how. They
their
don't know
shit
how to behave
together.
winning. You know, they've
Yeah,
lost. They're so used to losing, and they're always they're the most self-destructive group of of politicians I've ever seen. They, and,
hmm
you know, I don't. You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure we're gonna. I don't know that we're gonna do any better next year than what we've got. We may
right,
lose the House, you know, or we may lose the Senate, or we may lose both.
right,
If especially if this keeps up, you know, it's infighting. This is what we do.
right,
We, you know, we destroy ourselves. You know,
right. hmm
because
Yeah,
making America great again and America first are both the same thing in my eye.
right. Yeah.
And part of making America first is knowing that we've got to have allies in certain parts of the world. You
hmm
know, now we spend money on Americans, but on the other hand, uh, we're as Republicans or as the president, he's not solely responsible for setting up that money. Yeah, he can he can negotiate the deals and stuff like that, but it's the House and the Senate that have to make the laws and write the budget
hmm
so that and we don't have, and at this rate we're never going to have a super majority in the House or the Senate. I mean, we're just not
Right,
going to have it, because of schisms like this, because they just what
right.
these idiots don't understand that making America great again is good for America first.
hmm
You know, yeah.
Uh,
What's the thing? I know Jesse Waters has been out there for a while. He's. I thought, when they got rid of him, I thought, well, they caved and they did it for a lawsuit. But then was it Jesse Waters, Tucker Carlson? I meant.
Tucky, yeah,
Yeah,
Tucky,
Tucker
yeah,
Carlson. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
like Jesse Water. He's
no,
on the
yeah. As soon as I thought, wait a minute, that didn't sound right. Oh, it's Tucker. That's right.
yeah, Tucker.
Tucker's been out there and he's just kind of been, I don't know, he's been,
He's off the reservation, so to speak,
yeah,
and
he
he's
is. Yeah,
really
he has been for, I thought when he got his own show and stuff, you know, uh, it was like, okay, so I watched it for a while and then it just started getting stranger and stranger. And I thought,
yeah, kind of like Glenn Beck. Remember when Glenn Beck used to be really hot
Oh well,
on
yeah,
Fox, and then
yeah,
he
but he went down a road that was not healthy for the party,
right,
and he finally came back around, and he's
yeah,
kind of laid off of some of the far crazy stuff, because
right,
he was so anti-Trump, and he right after I can't remember, it was after Trump got elected or before after Trump lost the fight, then Glenn
mm-hmm,
Beck realized what his influence could have done to help it, and
mm-hmm,
he turned around, came back, and put on a MAGA hat,
mm,
you know,
yep,
after being
and Nick Fuentes from this is I don't know the whole story, but we have a local talk show host, and he's a well, he's a libertarian, but he does not like Trump, but he likes a lot of the policies that he's done. He
yeah,
just doesn't like Trump the man, and he really doesn't like Nick Fuentes because Ross Kaminsky he's Jewish,
hey, cool cat.
and Nick Fuentes is kind of, from what I'm hearing, I don't know what the whole story is. He's kind of anti-Semitic, is what I'm gathering.
Yeah, I hadn't
So,
heard about it, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't even looked at any videos today about
right,
what's been going on. I just didn't. I was doing other things,
right,
and so yeah, I tended. I'm normally what I'll do is about an hour before we do the show, I go back. I've usually when I know it's a Thursday, I start looking at the news during the day and trying
mhm,
to catch up.
right,
And when I know what the topic is, I kind of look at it. Today I didn't because, for one thing, I did it again yesterday. I sat around half the day thinking, well, can't do anything real exciting today because I got to do the show tonight, and it wasn't. And actually, I thought yesterday was Tuesday, and then oh shit, no, it's not Tuesday. I better. Oh, that's right. Oh hell, it's Thursday. And then I realized it was Wednesday. So I missed Bill Thomas's show and everything. So I completely,
wow.
Or did he even have a show? I don't know if he had a show
I
last night
don't think he
because
did
I think
because
he's doing it like every other week now.
okay.
It's what I'm
Uh,
thinking, but I may be wrong. But
I know Paul Brown of Wedge and Big. He's not doing Sundays anymore. He's
yeah,
kind of taking a break from it.
yeah, I don't know what's going on there, and I probably should reach
Yeah,
out to him because he's been
he's really on to this about foster care and how corrupt it is and how
yeah,
kids have
yeah,
been abused. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. He's very passionate about what he believes
Oh
in.
yeah.
I'll say that. He's that
Hmm.
way about his drones. He's that way. I know he's very, very strong in supporting mental health.
Right. Hmm.
And I'll give Paul that much. He's a very passionate. He's a really nice guy.
Yes, he is. I
Yeah.
have. You've gotten to meet
I
him.
got to meet him last year. Yeah, I got to meet him. He
And,
brought his whole family, and it was a real honor to meet him. And he's just a
mhm.
nice guy. Just a nice guy.
Yeah, he
There's
seems
like
like a nice.
Joel, and there's a bunch of guys that I met that were just nice guys. Just it was
Hmm.
nice to meet him.
Hmm.
But
And one of these days, I gotta go back. I had so much fun. I've been to two of them so
yeah,
far,
yeah, I'm going
and
next year.
mhm.
That's why I'm
uh,
quit
I
buying
think
guitars.
I, I think 26 is going to be the breakout year. I think the economy is really going to take off because of all the tax stuff that's going to really help a lot of people. And they're talking about a tariff dividend, uh, but that has to go through Congress to get
Right.
that
Yeah.
going.
And
And
that may be a hard push because them congressmen like to spend every dime they can get.
right, right.
You know.
And well, I think the big boom is going to be the people who get tips and overtime.
Yeah.
They're going to see a really nice
Right.
refund, and I think
Yeah.
that's gonna, and that's why I want. That's why I'm trying to start this company to kind of get it established, get it going, and because people are going to be spending money after tax season,
Yeah.
and what do we have coming up next year? Oh yeah, we have elections,
That's true.
and and that's another area that I could get into, and I still know quite a few people in the party. I know the current chairperson, Britta Horn. I could,
You
go to
know,
her and say, "Hey, I'm got this thing going on," and it could be I could be the guy that can help with flyers and
right, right.
media and all that stuff. And
You know something we haven't done or you haven't done in a while, and that's we haven't had some of these politicians on the show like
yes, I know,
Thaddeus and some of
like
the others that you used to have. You know, there's a couple of different gals that were running, and I think they both lost, which
yeah, they
they
did.
probably don't want to go.
Missy,
Yeah, that may be why they got like, let's not go on that. Don't anybody go on that show because if you do, you're going to lose your election. Yeah, so
uh-huh. Yeah, that's right. Cool Cat makes good point there. Yep.
Mexican
Hmm.
anti-Semite. Well, when you that is odd. But
Hmm.
hey, it's no different than the president of Mexico being a woman, Jewish Mexican.
Jewish Mexican.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. A
that's yeah,
lentil beaner.
yeah. It's yeah. What is it that Paco calls his kids now? I can't remember. He told me, and I just busted up laughing.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's yeah, yeah. Lentil
So
beaner. Yeah, something. Yeah, he's like I can't remember. Oh
yeah,
Lord.
yes, he is, Michael.
Yeah,
He's a nice guy, and I always try to catch his show on Sunday, at least half of it before I go to
yeah,
bed. Yep. Hmm. And yeah, I like his stuff because he's kind of like the Fly for Fun show on Sunday where
yeah,
he puts a lot of video videos up,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he's got Bud Bieber on and Dominic as well, and a few other people.
Yeah, this is probably one of the few shows that Dominic's not on.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Mhm.
Dominic, he gets around. He's on a lot of shows.
Yes, he's a popular guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of popular, have you talked to our friend Greg Cooner? Yesterday was his birthday.
And I saw you put that up, and I meant to reach out. I haven't. He called. He reached out to me here. I think we talked last week, and I forgot it was his birthday. Coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's right now. They're dealing with his mother. She's got cancer. And I guess I hadn't told anybody that, but
Oh
yeah,
no.
and she's had it before, but I don't
Mhm.
think it's going to be,
Oh,
and it's she's not doing as well as they had hoped,
right.
with this round of treatments, but
Hmm.
so they're dealing with that. She's been in and out of the hospital quite a bit, so
Right.
he's had
Right.
that. He's had that to deal with because
Hmm.
you know. So yeah, he's so yeah, she's and I think it came back or they discovered it uh was actually last year sometime,
Right.
like the early part of last year, and that they discovered it, and then they they thought everything was going good, and then all of a sudden she started having other problems, and you know I I don't know if it's spread or not. I'm thinking it may have, you know,
Right. Hmm.
and but yeah, I think it had spread, and it's so right now I'm not sure where. she's holding her own. She's a tough old gal. I can say that much for her.
Good, good to
But
hear.
she's, I don't think it's is doing as well as they would hoped. You know,
Right.
I'm sure that's a lot of what's on his going on right now with him. So,
Mm,
but
okay. Yeah. Yeah. I remember back in the day, you were kind of a co-host with oh God, who was that other John
John, yeah,
Morris?
huh?
Morris?
Yeah, John Morris. Yeah, yeah,
John Morris. Yeah, he
yeah.
was the drummer,
Yes, he
and
was. He's actually he's him and his brother are actually quite famous
right,
as
right.
jazz music. Well, his brother has a big band orchestra,
No,
and they
cool.
actually came to the United States and were here and recorded here for when they were younger for quite a few years, and that's where I found out about the whole rocket ship story
No,
because it was on This Is Your Life, and it was John's brother that was being honored because the brother was the m- more famous,
right.
And of
Hmm.
course, John, he's pretty big. He's pretty big into
Right,
FAA stuff, or well,
right.
what
Hmm.
CASA, you know.
Yeah, and I enjoyed Greg's show because he made it like kind of a talk show style where it looked like he had a desk
Oh yeah,
and
he was
you're
very
on
big into the
a
yeah, yeah,
screen and the guy was on another screen.
yeah, yeah. He
I thought that
really
was
like a
kind of
news.
cool.
Yeah, he tried to make it sort of like a news production,
Right.
and
Hmm.
unfortunately, he was using wire trash
Yeah.
because he uses Apple, and he can't. He uh the one you and I both have.
Ken Herron?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
What's the software
yeah,
we
yeah.
used? What's the software we used?
Oh, Wirecast.
No, the other one.
Oh, No Limits.
No, that's No Limits Drones. That's not it. You had it too because we were both.
Oh, Skype.
No,
Oh,
it's
what am I talking about? vMix.
vMix. Thank you. My mind couldn't think of it.
Yeah,
Like you were naming
yeah.
everything that wasn't anything to do with what we did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Narrowed it down
and
and uh,
yeah, vMix.
mm,
Yeah. But
vMix.
yeah, he couldn't, because he uses Apple, he couldn't use vMix,
Uh,
and the guys had actually, I think the guys that owned vMix sold it, but then they ended up uh similar to what happened with this program like we're using now that we all
StreamYard.
StreamYard, yeah. Those
Yeah.
guys, Gabe and the other guys sold it,
Mm,
and they quit doing their weekly shows and they're back doing it again. So they must have, you know, I think doubling the price put a hurt on them because
right. Hmm.
so they
Hmm.
had to come back and kind of get control. I don't think they've dropped the price any, but you know,
Right. All right. So get back to politics.
politics, yeah, we always
Eh,
drift.
wonder what else is going on in the political world. I know Mexico, they're having problems. People are protesting outside the presidential palace.
Alice,
They're
yeah, yeah.
asking Sheinbaum to step down.
Well,
And
the biggest problem is they're tired of the cartels running everything.
right. Mhm.
And that was part of the reason I think she won the elections because uh she was supposed to stand up against them, and she turned out she's as corrupt as the rest of them. So,
Right.
and Mexico, the people themselves, the everyday people are nice people.
Yes, they
Uh,
are.
but unfortunately, it's the government, and this it's been this way as long as I can remember. But the
Oh,
government's always been corrupt,
uh-huh.
you know, and you know the Mexican people are just they're just they're treated just as badly as they were treated back when Texas left. Texas eventually beat Santa Ana,
Yep. Hmm.
and then the Mexican American War, you
Right.
know. Uh, those they're still the everyday people. Most of them are still the peons of the world. They're still
Right.
treated like that under like they were under the Spaniards.
Right. Well, and their economy was actually doing pretty well during the 60s, the 50s, and 60s.
Yeah, and then
That's
started to
when they
go.
discovered oil.
Yeah,
And it seemed like in the 70s, things started
things
to,
started going south again. Yeah, that's when I was.
yeah.
That's when I went down there a lot, and they lived. There were areas that you know,
Mm-hmm.
it was just it was eye opening to say the least. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
because Paco's grandfather used to go down there for 6 months out of the year. After
Mm-hmm.
he retired, he'd go down there and work as a missionary.
Right.
And you know, he went to some pretty godforsaken places. And I remember we crossed to one state border to another. There was always a police check there, and you'd have to stop and, you know, uh, you'd have to
Show
stop
papers.
and bribe the police officers. Yeah,
Right. Mm-hmm.
I had one there. We were going into a town, and as they like the firemen do for the Jerry Lewis telephone, and all that.
Right.
With
Mm-hmm.
the boots out there, well, they had police officers with boots out there, and they had them at one end of town, and it wasn't just drop a couple of dollars. They told you how much you had to donate,
Ah, okay.
and they were helping out the children. Well, we were going to meet with one of the ministers down there that was you know, actually helping the children, and those police officers had nothing to do with that.
Right.
Absolutely, they were
Mm-hmm.
there for the bribe. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we came back out, this cop stops me again. I said, "I've already paid you once." I said, "We paid you going into town. I'm not paying you to leave." You know, said, "You
Mm-hmm.
got your money from me, okay?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "That's just the way it is." And
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Did you forget? You already oh, yes, yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, that's right, you did donate. Very nice of you, and just move along, nothing to see here," like a crooked son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And that's the way their government has been as long as I can it seems like
Right.
forever.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just getting worse, and now that, you know yeah, we got rid of the we helped defeat the Colombians, the Colombian cartels. All they
Mm-hmm.
did was move to Mexico.
Yep.
They moved, what, from Colombia to Panama, and then now out of Panama, now into Mexico.
Panama,
They're just moving
Panama.
up the continent eventually, and they've already started coming into the United States. They're already here.
Yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah.
you
Yeah. I
know.
mean, I watched Breaking Bad.
Well, it's not that. It's not a. It's one of the things, and this is what I've heard from several law enforcement. We have a lot of Mexican restaurants here in town,
Oh
and
yeah.
anytime a restaurant closes, whether if it's barbecue place or if it's a family diner,
Mm-hmm.
that serve breakfast 24/7 or whatever, one of those. Anytime one of those shuts down, it reopens as a Mexican restaurant every single time
Mm-hmm.
because that's how they're laundering their money.
Right.
They're
Mm-hmm.
running it through all of these Mexican restaurants, and it's known. I mean, it's law enforcement people have
Mm-hmm.
told me this, and I don't hold it against the people that are working there because most of them are nice, hardworking people, and
Mm-hmm.
they have some pretty good food. I'm not going to bitch about that. It's
Oh
just the
yeah.
fact that most of them, when a new Mexican restaurant opens up, it's like, oh well, it's
Mm-hmm.
more cartel money needing to be laundered. I
Yep.
mean, we
Well,
literally we probably have 150 Mexican restaurants here in town.
mm-hmm.
We're not that big of
Oh
a town.
yeah. We got a lot here in the Denver
Yeah, yeah.
metro area,
But I
and
mean, we're small. We're like 38,000 people, and
right.
150 friggin' Mexican restaurants. We got more Mexican restaurants here right now than we do churches, and we got a lot of those.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, and you talk about corruption. Even the Philippines is not immune. Their big deal is the flood control. We've had these massive storms, and these projects were supposed to help alleviate a lot of the storms. And it turns out a lot of that money was was stolen by contractors and greedy politicians. And who's getting the big blame? Marcos is getting the
Well, yeah,
big
because Marcos gets blamed for
blame.
everything because they're of their last name.
And then another name that's coming up quite a bit is Senator Ramoldez. Yeah, he's also in the center of the storm of these of corruption in the.
This is why these countries stay third world,
Mm-hmm,
because the working the everyday person, the little person, that lives in these small villages and towns, they don't have what it takes to be able to force out these crooked politicians, and in
right,
some ways we've just about became that in the with this last president.
right,
We were
right.
very close to, if Kamala had won, I'm afraid we would have been a third world country, but by the end of her 4 years,
Mm-hmm. And
and
I think a lot of it comes down to people don't know who they vote for the name because the name is familiar. Like Marcos. They remember the days of when his father was the dictator of one type of anti-Semite game.
YouTube will delete your comment before you press send. Gotta love the censorship wankers. Yeah, yeah,
Right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's believe it or not, they're, let's see. Yeah, they're uh yeah. YouTube has not gotten any. Have you ever gone back and looked to see if they put that video back up that they took down when we was talking about the COVID-19, remember?
Oh no, I haven't. I'll have to go back and see.
Yeah, I can't yeah, because they took one of mine down because we talked about it again on my show on Monday,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
I got hit with the same thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I remember the one where
Ah,
one of our
it took him that's why he put up earlier, YouTube is broken.
yeah,
And yeah, we're easily distracted, Michael. Yeah.
yes, and squirrel.
Squirrel,
Mm.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's Bill's copyright.
Actually, no, it's not. It's
I
mine.
know you started the
I
squirrel
started, and
thing.
he admitted here at one time. He admitted that he says Lloyd started this, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm the one who started the squirrel. I had a little squirrel that would run across my screen and all that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I was always getting sidetracked and distracted, like right now.
Kind of like this show.
Yeah,
Uh, we were anyway.
politics.
Uh,
There we go.
Politics. Let's get back to politics. We were
Yeah,
talking about politics and corruption, and if you think about it, where most of the corruption coming from is,
the liberals.
ooh, what religion is the predominant thing in those corrupt countries? Hmm, would that be the Roman Catholic
Yeah,
religion?
I'm not gonna lay any blame on any one particular religion,
Mm, I mean, even
because I mean, look at all right. You look at there's a lot. Believe it or not, there's a lot of uh, 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 Islamist,
yeah,
in some of these countries too, you know,
right.
and I won't go so far to say. Now, do I agree with the last pope? No, the
No,
last one I felt was very far left, and I felt that he shouldn't have been the pope in the first place,
right. Hmm.
and because the guy that they've got now, uh, from what I'm hearing, he's still somewhat liberal.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
he's really going after Trump about the border and
oh
ICE.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
okay, since he's in I don't know, a walled city, why doesn't he open up the St. Peter's Square to just anybody to come in?
Yeah, well,
See how
actually,
that works out for
actually,
him.
there are quite a few thousands of people that are at St. Peter's Square every day.
Oh yeah, they're tourists. But I'm
No, a
talking
lot of
about
them are there
people.
to pray. You know,
Yeah,
a lot of them, you know,
you're
it's
right. Great.
you I'm not listen, let me say this. I'm not 100% anti-Catholic, but I'm not 100% Catholic either,
Right.
you know.
Hmm.
But I take it, what I see in these third world countries has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with, yeah, there is a predominant of people there that are Catholics, but not the leaders. The leaders aren't necessarily Catholic, but they are usually socialist liberals,
Mm.
you know. I mean, is Marcos a Catholic?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, but the you're taking, and this is what created uh the Reformation. You know, this is what
Reformation.
started the Reformation because
Hmm.
the hierarchy in the Catholic Church and uh they were taking money or doing, that you could buy your way to heaven. It was their idea.
Right. And what is that called? Indulgence.
Yeah, indulgences. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But that's not a
And
practice that's used anymore.
no, but
It
it
was, yeah,
kind of bled into uh, politics and the
yeah.
police.
But
You know.
we're talking, yeah, because you had, I mean, if you go back and you look, the Holy Roman Emperor and all of that, that was a
Mhm.
complete, uh, the through time the religion has changed, but and in defense of that, Martin Luther never intended to become a Catholic,
Uh-huh.
you know. And
Hmm.
again, Buddhist, that's another one. You got a lot of them out there, and I find that I can think of at least one or two Buddhists I know of that are probably the least forgiving people I know of.
Right. Hmm.
And but so you can't lay the blame on one particular religion, but Martin Luther never intended to leave the church, the Catholic Church.
Hmm.
And you also got to remember it was the first Christian church. It was the first, it was the everybody was a Catholic until they weren't.
Hmm.
And some of those other religions weren't any better,
Right. Hmm.
you know.
Yep.
Uh
Well, you got your Lutheran, and that led to Calvinism, and that led to well, there's Anglican,
you got the
then
Anglican,
there's
and that was got the Methodist.
Presbyterian.
You got the Methodists. They
This,
were a spinoff of the Anglicans. They never intended to John Wesley never intended to become, and that's not John Wesley Harding, the gunslinger either. John
yeah.
Wesley, the Methodist, never intended to become to break off from the Church of England, but he did.
And don't forget the Crystal Methodists.
Yes, yeah, I knew you were going to have to throw that in there. I knew, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, the Catholic influence has had some bad rep, but you can't overlook uh, Saint John Paul II. He's
Right. Oh yeah,
that
he's
that man did more, and
right.
he had one of the largest influx of new Catholics
Right.
of
Hmm.
any pope in the last 150 years.
Right.
And
Because he was all about freedom and
right,
uh, solidarity and yeah,
and he was a conservative. He fought
yeah,
against
very
he
conservative.
fought against. I mean, he and Reagan and Lech Walesa are the three people most
Right.
involved with getting Poland their freedom.
Yep.
You know,
Hmm.
they
Yep.
worked in the background. He lived the life that a good pope should do, and
Hmm.
unfortunately, there were some bad elements in the church. There still are, and
Hmm.
uh, uh, not Francis, Benedict.
Yeah,
Which
Benedict. Yeah.
is that the one before Francis?
Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
yeah, all right. He was actually Cardinal Ratzinger, and he was a conservative. He was the one who kept the conservative movement alive in the Catholic Church, and he was the right hand. He was John Paul II's right hand,
Right.
and the chosen one. And all of a sudden, this Francis comes along, or the Archbishop that became Francis. When after John Paul II died, then he kind of threw his hat in the ring, but then he withdrew
Hmm.
because everybody knew that Ratzinger was the one that should be, so he was, and unfortunately, there was the banking scandal as well as the pedophile scandal,
Hmm. Oh, that had been going
but
on
that had
in the
been going on
church
for, they'd been trying to get that under
decades.
control for years. And the
Yeah.
problem is Rome wasn't necessarily always informed. It was being handled through the archdiocese or the diocese, the local diocese,
Right. Hmm.
and covered up because so many of them were involved with that. And
Hmm.
uh
Oh, and that was one of the things that drove a lot of people away from the church.
yeah, and it was when John Paul II finally stepped up and recognized it as a problem and started allowing these priests to be prosecuted and insisting on it.
Right. Hmm.
Because he was the one who eventually, when it got so bad, that was one of the things that he eventually did, was make sure that these priests were going to be prosecuted by the law. He took away their protection, and
Hmm.
so with Ratzinger, he was the one who was bringing that to the Pope, saying, this isn't right, and we got to do something about it, and he did. But then, by the time he was elected Pope, he was starting to have bad health, and the idea was is he was going to go in and clean up the banking scandal because the Vatican Bank was in a mess. You know,
Right.
uh,
Hmm.
they didn't have any liquid assets. They didn't have any cash on hand type things. It was because some of the other members, and it's like any that's a nation state.
Hmm.
It's they had corruption, and his job was to clean it up, and he realized he couldn't do it. And then Francis comes along, and Francis becomes he's such a leftist,
Yeah, he was a
socialist liberal.
Jesuit out of uh,
Yeah, he's out of South America.
Argentina.
Yeah, and he was a socialist. He was a leftist. He was uh
Yeah.
thing that John Paul II wasn't. Because
Hmm.
John Paul II had lived under the he'd lived with,
Communist
well, the communists, yeah, and before that, the Nazis,
Nazis. Yep.
you know.
Hmm.
So he knew what a totalitarian government was.
Hmm.
Whereas I think Francis actually, that's how he got into power, is that the socialist governments, he had backings from the
Hmm.
leaders. So yeah, I'm not going to condemn all Catholics as being responsible, but the socialist ones, those are the
Right.
ones you got to be careful, and those are the ones that
Mhm.
are getting in power, you know.
Right. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
but
Well,
and
before World War One, there was no Poland. It was all part of the Prussian Empire, which
right,
became Germany, and
yeah,
parts of it were part of Russia and the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which
right, yeah.
and that was an interesting empire because it had so many different ethnic groups
Oh yeah, because you had the
trying to
Austrians, you
keep
had
it
the,
all
yeah, oh
together.
yeah,
And the German Empire that came out of the Holy Roman Empire.
yes, it did, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, much
yeah,
of
'cause
it did. Yeah,
yeah, because there was at the time of that there was no German Empire.
no,
Uh, you had the Prussians,
you
you
had the
had the
Prussians and all
uh
the nation states, all the
yeah,
different
yeah, they were like Bavarian.
principalities. Yep,
You had
Bavaria and
Bavaria,
Württemberg and
yeah,
Holstein. Yeah, up
all
there.
those different principalities, and they were that's what they were, principalities. You had
Mhm.
kings or princes of or whatever they call it, and they all fell under the blanket of the Prussian Empire. But
Hey, we got Ronnie from God Bless America. Good to
hey,
see you,
Ronnie,
Ronnie. A little
yeah,
late. We're just about to end the show. Maybe you could watch it a little later. Where we ought to call it the Three Conservative Gimps and or Clerical Gimps. We
yeah,
mix a little bit of theological
well, yeah,
scripture here
a
and
little
there.
bit of theology, a little bit of enlightenment, because
Enlightenment.
because
Got a
because
little religion tonight.
yeah, well, and religion has a lot to do with politics.
Hmm.
And here's
Yep.
the thing: had and this is one final thought on that. Trump, when he got shot in Butler,
Hmm.
he truly had a come to Jesus moment right there. And
Yeah.
it changed who he is,
Hmm.
and it changed his abilities to do things. And I think that's one reason above anything else why he is so successful now compared to what
Hmm.
he was 4 years ago. Oh yeah, everybody was tired of Biden. There's no doubt about it. Nobody
Right.
trusted Kamala, but they
Hmm.
weren't sure they could trust Trump. But after
Right.
he got shot and then he stood up and he fought and then he openly admitted that, hey, it was a miracle that I survived, and it truly was. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
once he gave that, like I said, he had that was a real true to life come to Jesus moment for him, and it changed who he is. It changed how he interacts. Yeah, he still puts out the mean tweets. Okay,
Yeah.
but that's just people get so fired up over that crap, and if they just learn
Yeah.
to do because I personally, I think he's just laughing his ass off at the end of the day.
Right.
Oh my God, did you see this is the silliest thing. They believe that crap.
Hmm.
And that's why I like to call them fake news because they like to take those things and like it's real. And he's just poking
Hmm.
the bear. But
Hmm.
he also is a much better president now than he was 4 years, 5 years
Yeah.
ago.
I think
He's much more
why
effective.
he's surrounded himself with the better people
Right.
around him,
Yeah.
loyal people that weren't
Loyal.
stabbing
Yeah.
him in the back like his
Yeah.
first term. You
Yeah.
know.
And even those that they may have a falling out. They like right now. He and Elon are back to being friends again.
Yep.
You know,
Elon's
because
back in.
I think
We'll
somebody
see
put up
how long
the boys are
March.
back in town.
Yep. Well, hopefully we get Marjorie to come back around. And I guess Trump has pulled his endorsement from her.
Well, of course,
So,
she's she's mad, and she's always doing this. She's always running off her mouth and not thinking about how it sounds until afterwards, and then
mm.
having to defend her choice.
Well, and then she's on The View and she's on
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
CNN. Okay, yeah.
you know.
All
We,
righty. Well, folks, we've done just a little over an hour. I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming. Please tell your friends about it. This channel is growing. We're up to 545 subscribers, and
this channel could I could
slowly started. I think it's the shorts that I've been putting out. I think that's and plus, the live streams helping out
oh yeah,
too.
yeah.
Well, and I've
But
been
I think, yeah, the spew. You're right, Ronnie. Uh,
mm,
that's another thing. And I'll shut up. But if they talk like Colbert was saying, or not Colbert, but Jimmy
Jimmy
Fallon.
Kimmel.
Oh, Kimmel. Which one
Yeah,
was the one that got suspended for a few days and then
that'd be Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel? Okay.
Yeah,
Had Donald Trump, if people thought about this, Jimmy Kimmel ran off his mouth. Okay,
yep.
one or two. He's always an idiot, but he's been running it off. Had he really wanted the FCC to go after somebody, don't you think he would have made damn sure the View was the first to go, not Jimmy
Well,
Kimmel?
Yeah,
Because
that's it.
guaranteed the View has caused him more headaches than Jimmy Kimmel could ever think of. Because
Mhm.
Kimmel's not that popular.
Yep, that's right. And folks, don't forget about my drone and entertainment show, Art Pro Drones and Entertainment Show, tomorrow night,
Tomorrow night, yeah.
which is on an hour earlier, and we do 2 hours. And I'm working Saturday, so it'll be just 2 hours. So go to that show and Bill's show on Saturday and Lloyd's show
On
Monday night.
Monday.
So take care and God bless and see you next time. Good night, everybody.